Good morning. Welcome to Movement and Meditation. My name is Cindy. I really feel movement is medicine, so big gratitude to all of us for showing up today. We're going to start in tabletop. Just a reminder for those who are a little newer to the practice, in tabletop, our fingertips are spread wide on the mat. Our middle finger is pointed towards the front of the mat. Shoulders are over our wrists. Toes are curled, or feet are flat on the ground. We're going to begin with some cat-cow movements. This is our first movement of the day. Let's make it a little gentle and a little slow. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, drop your belly, tilt your tailbone, and bring your nose up as if you were looking at the sky. Maybe you can roll your eyes up a little bit. As you exhale, push the earth away, spread those shoulder blades, and begin to look down at the mat. Keeping space in between your shoulders. So we're not going to have our shoulders shrugged like this. We're going to keep space. Let's take an inhale, drop the belly, tilt the tailbone. Bring your chin up as far as feels comfortable here, and maybe close your eyes and begin to find your center with the movement. Exhale, push the earth away. This time maybe you can look a little bit closer to your knees, dropping the crown of your head a little more. Inhale, tilt your tailbone, drop your belly, look up. Exhale, spread your shoulder blades, push into the earth. Really spread your shoulder blades here. Big hold, and exhale, release here. Come to neutral. Let's take our knees mat width apart for child's pose, as far as you need for your body to be comfortable. Toes touch behind. Take a deep inhale through your nose and gently push your hips back to your heels, bending your elbows, allowing your forearms to rest on the mat. Take a deep breath here through your nose. Exhale. If you'd like to increase the stretch, send your hands forward to the top of the mat. Bring your forehead all the way down to the bottom of the mat. Allow your forehead to rest. And continue to practice your deep breathing in and out through your nose. The pressure on our forehead allows us and guides us to go inward. And with your next breath in, let's raise our forehead up off the ground. If your arms are forward, walk them back so that your forearms are resting on the ground. Hands are pushed into the mat, and let's lift our hips up. Bring our knees a little bit closer together. Our hips are high in the air here. Let's curl our toes under, pressing our hands into the mat, straightening our arms. We're going to go up into downward dog. Taking a deep breath in here. Raise your hips all the way up to the sky, creating a nice flat back. Knees are fully bent if that feels good here. Push into the mat with your fingers and draw your shoulder blades together and down your back. That creates space between your arms and your ears, and begin to move your heels up and down. Knees as bent as they need to be so that you can keep your back flat and your hips high up into the sky. As we lift our heels up and down, we create a little bit of a different type of stretch through the back leg. This is preparing us for our next pose. And remember to breathe here. Nice big deep breath in. And full, graceful exhales if you can. Remembering that breath with movement is a practice. And let's come to stillness, bending those knees. Let's look up at the mat in between our hands. And let's bring our knees back down to the mat. Now we're going to go into Pigeon Pose. So take a moment to maybe push your hands out a little further away. We're going to take the right knee and bring it over to the right wrist. Send that foot out under your other shoulder. So from the front, I'll show you what that looks like. We start like this, we bring our knee forward, and then we send that foot out under our other shoulder. Pushing that straight leg back a little bit, keeping our hands on the mat. Pushing the top of the straight foot into the mat. Let's take a moment to consider our hips, bringing our straight leg hip forward and our bent leg hip back. Feel how that may change the stretch. Let's inhale and maybe come up onto our fingertips if we can, creating space through the front body. Breathe here. Feel the stretch through the left side of the abdominal, the left hip flexor, the left, which is the front of your hip, and also the right hip. One more breath in here through your nose. And as you exhale, let's bend our arms and rest on our forearms. This is a way to deepen the stretch, but if it feels too deep, just stay where you are comfortable this morning. The intensity of this stretch can be determined sometimes by how parallel your bent leg is to the top of the mat. My leg's at about a 45-degree angle. That's where I'm most comfortable. Take a nice, long, deep breath in through your nose here. And with your exhale, if you would like, let's bring our forehead down to our hands. If that feels okay, another opportunity to come a little bit closer to the mat might be to rest your fists on one another and to allow your forehead to rest there. Remembering here that we're asking a lot of our right knee. We're asking it to bend in two directions. So pay attention to the sensations in that knee, and if it feels too much, please back off. Listen to our bodies this morning. These are deep stretches. And breathe here. Relax your jaw. Relax your back foot. And if your tongue is pressing up against the roof of your mouth, maybe allow it to rest in your lower palate. One more long, deep breath in here. Full exhale. And with your next inhale, let's begin to unwind, coming back onto our forearms. And then maybe straightening our arms, bringing ourselves upright. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, drop over onto that hip and take that other leg and bring it all the way around. For some of us, this is where we're going to stay. For others, we can remain cross-legged. If you're feeling super flexible this morning, the other option is to go into double pigeon. In double pigeon, our shins, our calves rest on one another. The top ankle is quite a ways over the knee. This is giving extra support. You may want to put a blanket, a pillow or a block under that knee. Notice that I'm not overly flexible here. I've got lots of space, lots of room for stretching. Take a deep breath in here. Allow the front body to rise, feeling the stretch change in that left hip as you do so. So some of us may be in this position, some of us may be in this position, and some of us may be here. All is great. Be where you need to be. And let's go into a side stretch wherever you are at. So the top leg is the hip that we're stretching. Hands go onto the mat. We're going to stretch towards the foot, whatever foot you have on top. Take your left shoulder or the bent leg shoulder rises and brings that arm all the way up and over, supporting yourself on the mat with your other hand and putting pressure into the mat so both hips remain on the ground. If you feel you've gone a little bit too far, come on back up a little bit straighter. And breathe. Relax your jaw. Relax your neck. Allow gravity to help you with this stretch. Take a deep inhale. Bring your hands back down to the mat. And now we're going to cradle the baby. We're going to lift this leg up with our hands. We can hold it, ankle in the hand, bringing some movement to that hip. Alternately, you can take your knee into the crook of your elbow, your ankle into the crook of the other elbow, deepening the stretch. Noticing when you do so that maybe your back starts to round. If that's the case, maybe you're a little bit too deep. We'd like to breathe in and allow that front body to rise up with each breath. Let's move that leg, maybe coming forward, rocking a little bit, bringing some mobility. Both ways, whatever feels right. And now let's set that leg down. Send it straight out. Give a little bit of a shake here. And let's meet back in tabletop to perform that sequence on the other side. So gently rolling over, coming back into all fours. We're going to go into a downward dog first. So let's curl our toes under, taking a deep breath in, sending those hips all the way up to the sky, stretching out the back. Notice that this downward dog may feel a little bit different than the first one because we've already done lots of stretching. We've got some blood flowing. Take a moment to lift those heels up and down off the mat. A wonderful antidote to sitting still all day, giving those feet some movement. Take a deep breath in. Look in between your hands. Bring your knees to the mat. Left knee comes all the way out to the left wrist and send that foot out under the right shoulder. And straight leg goes all the way back. We're resting gently here on our hands. Fingertips are still spread wide, taking the pressure off the palm of the hand. Space in between the shoulder blades here, in between your shoulders, so we're not curled up. We're creating space with our arms in between our ears and our collarbones. Push into the mat with that straight leg for just a moment. Relax. And let's bring the straight leg hip a little bit forward and the bent leg hip a little bit back. Feel how that shifts the energy in your hips. Take a deep breath in here. Rise up onto your fingertips. As you exhale, bend your arms and rest on your forearms. We're here for 3 long breaths. As you breathe in, allow your jaw to relax. And as you exhale, Maybe allow your tongue to rest in your lower palate. And with your next deep inhale, if you would like to make this stretch a little bit deeper, let's bring our hands flat onto the mat, resting our foreheads. If you're super flexible this morning, maybe your forehead can go all the way to the mat. Do what feels right. Again, we're just looking for a little bit of pressure on our forehead. Just like in child's pose, this is an opportunity to help us focus and go inward with our breath. Nice long breath in and full graceful exhales if you can. With your next breath in, let's bring our forearms back down to the mat, gently and slowly unwinding our way out of pigeon. Let's inhale and bring our bodies upright, resting back on our hands. One more breath in, come up onto your fingertips. And as you exhale, drop onto that hip, bringing that other leg all the way around. Again, choose the variation that feels right for you here. You may want to keep one knee bent. You may want to stay in a cross-legged position. That may be enough of a hip stretch for you. The other alternative is to come into double pigeon with our shins parallel to the mat and our calves resting on one another. Ankle is well over that knee. And breathing tall here, breathing length into the spine. Feeling the stretch on the hip that's on top. Bringing our hands down to the mat. Going into a side stretch here. Inhaling, lifting that shoulder, bringing the arm all the way up and over. Pushing into the mat with your other hand. Keeping both hips planted firmly into your mat. Breathing length into the side body. Long, deep breath in here. And with your exhale, gently bring that arm all the way back down to the mat. Nice and slow here. That's a lot to ask of our bodies. We want to bring ourselves into neutral position slowly. Now let's cradle the baby with this leg. Bring it all the way up if you can. Maybe you'd like to hold the ankle with your hand. Give it some movement. Alternately, you can hold that knee in the crook of your elbow, holding the wrist in the crook of the other elbow, and bringing your upper body, the front body, come up as high as you can here. Feel that stretch deepens a little bit as you bring width into those collarbones. And let's create some rotation here. So a little bit of swaying, a little bit of moving back and forth. One more rotation. And let's gently unwind, sending our legs forward. With our legs straight out in front of us, let's bend our left knee and allow the sole of the foot to push into that right foot. So there's a little bit of midline pressure here. We're going to go into a forward fold. Arms scoop the energy of the air around you all the way up with your inhale. And as you exhale, hinge forward, reach for your toes, reach for your knee. Do what feels right. You may want to cross at the wrists, holding on to the sides of your foot. You may want to allow your hands to simply rest on the mat somewhere beside your leg. And breathe. Notice the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. If it's more comfortable for you, you can have your leg a little bit out to the side, giving a little bit more room in the front body. Again, this is your practice, so please make it feel right for your body. As you breathe in through your nose, draw length into your spine, even if it's a movement that occurs only in your mind. And as you exhale, maybe you can come a little bit closer to your leg. Maybe it only happens in your mind. And if you feel you've come too far, if that physical sensation becomes a little bit too sharp, give yourself a little bit of room to slowly back off. And let's walk our hands back to help us come up to neutral. And let's switch our legs. Left leg goes straight. The sole of the right foot pushes into that thigh, creating some midline tension. Arms scoop all the way up. Big breath in, lots of room for the lungs to expand. Exhale, reach for those toes. Hinge at the hips. Grab onto your foot, your ankle, your knee, wherever it feels right. And breathe, as always. Take a nice, sweet, deep breath in. And exhale. Sometimes concentrating on the exhale is a great way to return back to the breath. It's a little bit of a different idea than what we normally practice and may help you focus. Some of the options here might be to hold on to the sole of the foot by crossing at the wrists. Maybe you're quite comfortable with your hands resting on the mat. Maybe you'd like to close your eyes and really focus inward. Knowing that you can always return to your deep yogic breathing at any time during the day. Yoga teaches us that our breath helps us travel to the present moment so we can stay with where we are, wherever we are at. With your next inhale, allow yourself to come upright, slowly, gently, coming out of the stretch. Remembering the reason we come out of the stretch slowly is because that is also part of the opportunity for the muscles to learn to expand and contract. Best part of the practice, Shavasana. Come on back to your lying down position, however you like to get there. You might want to hold on to the back of your knees and gently rock back. You may want to rest your hands on the mat, bending your elbows one by one, bringing yourself down to your mat. Sending your legs straight out to the corners of your mat, allowing your feet to fall open. Hands rest by your side, palms face the sky. And breathe here. Breathe however it feels right for you. And if this is a little bit much for your lower back, feel free to keep your knees bent. If that's what feels right, maybe you like a block under your knees. Be comfortable here. Allow your jaw to relax. your shoulders to relax. Let them fall away from your ears. Allow your hips to sink a little deeper into the mat, letting gravity do its job for you. As we lie here in Shavasana, remember that we are whole and complete. It is always within us. Let's begin a body scan meditation. Bringing your awareness to your feet, allow them to fully relax deep into the mat. Now draw your awareness to your hips, and again allow your whole lower body to sink a little deeper, to relax a little bit more. Bring your awareness from your hips all the way up to your shoulders, to your elbows, your wrists, and to the very tip of your fingers. And allow your upper body to relax. Allow your neck to relax, allow your jaw to relax. And relax your tongue. Relax all the muscles around your eyes and allow your forehead to smooth. And by your own command, may your whole body relax. Let's begin to reawaken our bodies with some movement in our fingers and toes, ankle and wrists. Maybe bend your knees, swinging your knees and swaying them from side to side. And when you're ready, roll over onto your side and gently press up to seated, or rock and roll your way back up to a seated position. When you're ready, let's bring our hands to prayer position, hand mudra of balance. Tucking our chin slightly in, releasing any stress and tension through the back of our necks and shoulders. Spreading our fingers wide here, allowing our thumbs to rest against our heart center. Lean back into your spine, creating a little bit more length through your next deep breath in. Exhale here. And let's take another long, slow, deep breath in together. And pause. Hold for just a moment here. Hold. And when you're ready, let it all out. HA through your mouth. Return your breath back to its natural rhythm. Bring your thumbs to your forehead, expressing some internal gratitude to yourself for showing up on your mat this morning. And if it feels right, bring your forehead to the ground, or maybe just rest your palms on the ground. Namaste. Good morning. What a great way to start our day. Thank you so very much for allowing me to guide you in this practice. I hope you all find some stress relief through the breath work that we practiced this morning. Enjoy your day, everyone.